the paint, you can't shake that. All the way gassed up, full tank, man, moving too quick. Keep the cameras in the playback. Dang, so tell me how you feel with it. You put a lid on it, I ain't got no chill with it. This right here your problem, you gon' have to deal with it. Lay it on the line, high risk, that's the meal ticket. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. Never fall back. No lies, all facts. We gon' stay right where we at. We ain't never fall back. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. We ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. Been way down, never faltered. Came with the hands out, get them off us. I'm 24/7 in the office. Pay attention cause I ain't repeating offers. Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked for. Careful, whatever you bring me getting handled. I answer to no one, I don't need a hassle. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. We ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. Never fall back. We ain't never.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Finn's Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Finn's Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
The snow is here to stay. You can feel it, the end of the year. You can see it falling down. But when the light come on, it's time to come home. Supper time, everyone is here. Are you near? Like I wish so many times. You can feel it. Oh, you feel it.
Good morning, Dolphin fans. I just wanted to take this time and say Happy Thanksgiving. It's a time to come together with family, friends, enjoy what you're thankful for, right? I don't do this often, but I share some things about me that you may not know. I'm a father of 3 beautiful children. I love them to death. My oldest, she lives in Georgia. She's amazing, right? Gonna be 16, watching her grow up and experience life makes me think about my past, my present, my future, the people around me. You guys at home, believe it or not, the audience. Yes. I consider all of you my friends. And all of us I consider as a collective family. If you didn't know, turn that down a little bit. If you didn't know, Thanksgiving is a national holiday in the United States and also in Canada and some other places in the world, which is celebrated on a different day. But in the United States, Thanksgiving is celebrated the Thursday, November 23rd, which is today. In 1621, the Plymouth colonists from England and the Native American apologies if I can't say this correctly. It's a Native American tribe called Wampanoag people shared an autumn harvest feast that is acknowledged as one of the first Thanksgiving celebrations in the colonies. Now, why I bring this up? Sometimes we fight around here. Sometimes we get rowdy. Sometimes we say things we may not mean. That happens. But ultimately, we have a love for everybody. I love all my brothers here at TFTG. I love everybody at home, including the Bills fans, believe it or not. I know I give them a lot of poop, if you want to say it this early in the morning. But the reality is, I still love them for who they are, right? I love how they push me to be me, and I love how I push them to be them. I'm thankful for all of you. Without you, I couldn't do what I enjoy the most. And that's doing this show, doing TFTG, being a part of TFTG, right? I've met a lot of real life friends through this platform, I should say. Color, El Cap, Lewis, Shake Money, real life friends. If they needed me, if they lived here and they needed me for something, I'd be at their house trying to help them fix their car or help them fix something in their house. They needed me to get something for them, or I had some ability to do something for them, I'd be doing it. Same thing for a lot of you people at home that I've met in real life at the games. Batman, Adam Sadowski, Kyle, Triple S Podcast, all those guys. I consider them real friends. I really do. Even Michael K, who I've yet to meet. I would love to meet him someday. I'd love to share a beer with him. Maybe over at a Thanksgiving dinner or something. I think he said something about ribs. Maybe, I can't remember what he's cooking today, but I would love to meet the guy, right? So thank you. Thank you, everybody that comes to TFTG. Thank you for being a part of my family. Thank you all. That's what I'm thankful for. Put in the chat what you guys are thankful for. Definitely put that in there. The holiday season is a time to come together. It really is. And for me, it's the busiest time of the year, not just because of family and my kids and celebrating the holidays. No. The holiday season to me is everything. It's the time for hope, endearment, love, giving, atonement. It's a time for everything. It's where everybody can have their emotions on a sleeve, right? And embrace them. It's also busy at work. That's kind of why I haven't been around in a hot minute. It's been like a week since we did our last show, and that's primarily because work this time of the year is the craziest time of the year for me. It's just like retail, a holiday season in full force. That's what it's all about. Thank you, Lewis. Happy Thanksgiving, and hope you and your family have a great holiday. Thank you, my friend. Same thing to you. And you guys are welcome. Everybody from TFTG, welcome to come on the show today. This is not going to be the longest show. It's going to be about an hour. I just wanted to tell everybody this morning that I haven't forgotten them, and that I am thankful for everything that they bring. Richard McLean, any feuds for Thanksgiving coming today? Love the feuds. I got some feuds, but it ain't for Dolphin fans and it ain't for Bills fans. It's for the Michigan fans, or that team up north, right? That crappy blue team up north that loves to steal signs. It's okay, because I love them. Because without them, there wouldn't be the Ohio State versus the team up north rivalry, which is the biggest rivalry in all of football that happens usually the Saturday after Thanksgiving every year. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's see who we got in here. We got Newfoundland, Kenna Rankin, Aquavision in the house. Aquavision been here forever. Josh Allen is the next John Elway. I'm warming up some baby back ribs and cornbread. That is awesome. Little secret to cornbread that tastes really good, but believe it or not. So my wife turned me on to this. She actually used some of my coffee creamer once, and it came out like really, really good. Not gonna lie. It was very amazing, actually. I can't remember what was the reason we used it, but we were out of milk. That's what it was. And she's like, oh, I'm going to use coffee creamer and see what happens. And it came out banging. I'm not going to lie. It came out banging. Scrappy, how you doing? Josh Capel, how's it going? Happy Thanksgiving, Ali, and everybody love you all. That's right. Louis Amador. Fred Dunlap, what's up, man? And Richard McLean did tell me, and I believed him. In fact, if you go back, I told Color and Company, even though I was a fool, I told them that CJ Stroud would be the most successful quarterback out of the quarterbacks drafted last year. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. Who's the guy from the Panthers that got drafted #1 overall that, oh, he's going to be so good. He's the next coming, and everything. What now? What happened to him? I don't think I've seen anything of him all season, to be honest, except when he played, when he played the Dolphins, and it was okay. So make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. We'd appreciate it. Meanwhile, while we're getting started up here, I know I got kind of sappy and everything, but I wanted to celebrate the holidays with everybody. Make sure you check out some of our other show, El Capitan, going live during game days, some shows during the week. Then you got Color and myself trying to do Top of the Tailgate, trying to get back into things. But with the holidays, it was kind of busy. I should be able to get back into it this coming up week, starting Monday, hopefully. Then you got Shake Money with the drive-bys and smoke lounges with Lewis, KP, talking about fantasy, making fantasies come true. And then you got Crypto with the real talk. And don't forget, Shake Money and Crypto's Insomnia. Great show. Great intro. I'm kind of jealous. I can't wait to see what I can do with my shows. We're going to do some revamping around here. And then don't forget, Tonk TMI Tuesdays. We had a makeup session yesterday. Great show. Make sure you check it out if you didn't. Hit like and subscribe, like I said. Turn on the notification bell. If you like the show, you want to provide, more to it, maybe help donate to the channel, check out Cash App or Venmo. We do accept donations. We really appreciate it. Currently, we can't accept super stickers and stuff and have memberships, but that's okay. It'll come back soon. TFTG is not going anywhere. Just a new light is coming, and I promise you it's going to be bigger than ever. That also being said, make sure you check out the description below We got some of our one of our affiliates there. You can check out tftgnetwork.com for all of our gear and one-stop TFTG everything. We're also now on Patreon, TFTG, the Finn's Tailgate. You don't want to forget them. And you don't want to forget some of our other affiliates. Dubby Energy Drink. All smash, no crash. Check them out. They got, they have a lot of different energy drinks that are fueled with a lot more vitamins and minerals than your normal energy drink. That's all natural, benefits the body, doesn't have those byproducts that's harmful for the body. It also, that being said, you don't get the jittering and crashing like you do with some of the other energy drinks. Check them out. If you'd like to save 10% off, make sure you use code TFTG at checkout. And don't forget Fanatics. We brought up Fanatics earlier. You get everything, one-stop shop for all officially licensed everything. Everything from t-shirts, helmets, memorabilia, jerseys, hats, you name it, they got it. Check them out. Use the link below in our description. It helps the channel out. So we really appreciate it. So that being said, we got some new merch coming soon. Stay tuned. I will be announcing that not today, but on another show. I'll be talking about that. I got to get with our producer in the back, HB, to find out more about it. But yeah, so there's some new stuff coming around these parts. It's going to be bigger, better than ever. Also, check out Patreon. You want to check us out there. We're going to have exclusive shows that we're going to be moving there a lot. There's already a lot of stuff already posted. It's really inexpensive, really easy to join and whatnot. And you can view some videos that we already got going on there. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're going to talk a lot of different stuff. I'm drinking my coffee already. This is a Brazilian coffee that I'm trying. Tastes pretty good. Or a Brazilian blend. I can't think of the name of the manufacturer top of my head right now. Color was here. He'd probably remind me. But it's pretty good. It's not too earthy. It's not too mild or bold. I'm sorry. It's a pretty good coffee, to be honest. All right. Today's cause for cleats. Well, today's Thanksgiving. So listen. Everybody may be in need of a cause. Everybody may have a cause they want to shout out to. So shout out to all of them. If you want to know, if you want to find causes, you can always go to NFL.com and look at My Cleat, My Cause. That's what it's called now. My Cleats, My Cause. Check them out. They have a list of every player, every team, and all the causes that the players support. You can, find the names, go look them up on Google. Shout out to all of them. Shout out to all the causes we've already brought up here on the TFTG. Shout out to every single one of them. Pass the word. Put in the comments below causes you want us to shout out on the next show. We're going to continue that. But today is Thanksgiving. Today is about family, friends, what you're thankful for. I'm thankful for all the causes because in some way or some form, they help people out. May not help me out, but it may help out the next person that's watching or someone that the person knows that's watching. You never know who may need these causes and who can benefit off of them or who has some source or product or something that can help provide to that cause. It's not just about receiving benefits from causes. It's also about donating to those causes and towards those people that are in need of those things. Let it be food banks, let it be shelters where they need clothes, or believe it or not, pet shelters also need donations. If you have old linens and old blankets that you don't want anymore, you can take those to the Humane Society and places like that, and they use them, right? They use that stuff. Let it be, shoes that you don't longer want to wear and you want to give them away for somebody that's in need. Maybe you have an overstock of canned goods or something that you can take to a food bank or somewhere that can help donate to people that are unfortunate to not have money for Thanksgiving or holidays like this. All right. Or maybe it's Toys for Tots. Shout out to all of them. Shout out to the people that donate to them, people that provide stuff to them, as well as shout out to the people that are in need of them because they need it the most. So I'm thankful for all of those things in everything. I'm thankful that there are avenues for people that are in need. That's what I'm thankful for. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. We got an interesting show today. We're just gonna, talk about Thanksgiving, what we're thankful for, what our hopes are for the Dolphins. I'm gonna talk a little Dolphin news first. Like I said, this is not gonna be a very long episode. This is gonna be a short 1 hour episode. I got family and friends coming over. I got a lot of cooking to do. Put in the chat if you're cooking something special, something different besides the turkey, or something unique. Put in the chat. I'd like to know what you guys are cooking. I'll tell you what I've done already this morning. I've made my famous apple cranberry and sausage stuffing. Right, includes apples, cranberries, Pepperidge Farm original breadcrumbs. It also includes a sage sausage by Jimmy Dean. And you basically mix that all up over butter with celery and onions, and you pour some chicken stock in there, or I'm sorry, yeah, chicken broth. I apologize, and some apple cider. It calls for apple juice, but I use apple cider, and it comes out delicious. You stuff the turkey with that stuff, or you can just cook it in a separate tray and put it in the oven for about I want to say about 30 minutes total. It comes out amazing, very very tasty. It's better than just plain stuffing that people just throw in there like a stover's top or something like that. That's what my specialty is. I cook it every year for primarily Thanksgiving, even for Christmas, because I get people that request it. That's what I do. My wife is currently making her famous 5 cheese mac and cheese. Yes, 5 cheese. That's right. Sometimes we do 6 cheese, but 5 cheese this year. But yeah, man, there's some good stuff people make every year, something different. I know somebody I talked to earlier yesterday. They're making fish instead of turkey. That's cool. That's unique. I've heard of that for Christmas. If people don't know, there's a Christmas tradition. I believe it's an Italian tradition where they make 7 different types of fish. If I'm not correct about where that comes from, but I know it's during Christmas time they do that. So check that out. Oh, let's see who else we got here. We got Vonjo up in here. Happy Thanksgiving. That is great. Great White Willie Shark 1976. Bro, thank you for coming to the show. Happy Thanksgiving from Medellin, Colombia. Go Fins. God exists because we are all God. It's no secret. That is correct. Okay, I like that. That's a good way to think of it. Shout out to everyone in the chat board, and be appreciative of every nook and cranny you have. I am definitely appreciate everything, everyone, to be honest. Definitely. I definitely understand. I believe it's celebrated in Canada and the United States, and I want to say one other country celebrates Thanksgiving. But believe it or not, even though it's not Thanksgiving, every nationality has in country, I should say, has a form of Thanksgiving. It's not. I'm sure in Colombia they have a holiday that has the premise of being thankful and being with family and friends and whatnot, which is similar. I know I'm Persian, and there's different holidays that has the similar premise to it. Um, I know in places all over Europe, they have similar type of holidays as well. Let's see what else we got here. Miss Fins, happy Thanksgiving, y'all. That's right. Happy Thanksgiving. It's great to see you. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Currently, traditions for me and my family. We generally, after, we cook food all day, watching the Macy's holiday parade. I'm actually recording it this year because I tend to be cooking or missing it for some reason. Not going to miss it this year. We usually play board games, video games. Some board games we play are Catan. I don't know if anybody's played that before. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like your strategy game. A lot of video games. I watch football with friends. I know somebody earlier said go Lions. Yeah, I like the Lions this year. They're I kind of think they can win that game. It'll be very interesting, kind of a rivalry game for them. So let's see here. Holy Week. All right. All right. Midian. Okay. I'm sorry, Great White. I'm not the best at pronunciation and stuff. I apologize. I hope I didn't offend you, but yeah. If you ever saw my last name, which I'm not going to give out here, but if you ever saw it, it includes a lot of different consonants, and the way it looks is not how it's pronounced whatsoever. There's a K in it. I'll give you that, and it's completely silent, but everyone says it, and it's like that's not how you say my last name. But I feel you, bro. Midian. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that. So, Bonjo, what's up, buddy? What's up? Let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. So, coming up, setting the stage for Dolphins Jets week. That's right. This is Jets week. It's rivalry week for both pro football and college football. Let's talk about it. So, the weather forecast: the temperature between 3 and 6 p.m. in East Rutherford, New Jersey Gardens will be between 43 and 47 degrees, according to the Weather Channel. I think this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this might be the coldest game we're going to be playing in this season, I want to say, with mostly sunny skies and no precipitation anticipated. So no snow, no rain. That's what it sounds like. Good. This game, if you don't know, it's going to be on Prime, 3 p.m. Eastern. So you want to make sure you don't miss it. I believe, and I have to go look around because I was told there was an advertisement that there's going to be a free link for everyone to watch it from Amazon Prime. Actually, I'm going to Google search that now because that was what on their commercial for it on Prime. Go. Yeah, so they are going to be providing it free. Um, uh, duh, duh. So it says anyone with a free Amazon account can watch NFL's Black Friday game on Prime Video. An Amazon Prime or Prime Video subscription is not required. So that being said, if you don't have an Amazon account, go ahead now and create one. You can just create the free account, and when the game is on, if you go to Amazon Prime Video, you should be able to watch the game right there without having any type of subscription whatsoever. That's what you got to do. Just make sure you have your Amazon Prime account already created so you don't have to miss the action. So definitely check that out. I cannot wait for this game. The Jets game, to be honest, for me, I'm not taking them lightly. The Jets still took Kansas City to the brink. They still beat teams such as Buffalo. They're still a good team. Don't get me wrong. Granted, they're on their third QB now. I know their offense might be in big question marks. Garrett Wilson has not performed the way that we thought. Brees Hall in their running game has not been super excellent. It's been prime time sometimes, but it hasn't been to the point where they could overcome the deficiencies elsewhere. They're injured up and down their offensive line. I get it. But that defense is still good. That defense still up front is very good against the run. That's how they stop you. They stop the run. And they do have a good secondary, right? That defense is still very, very healthy. And that kind of is where I draw the line for us. I think this game we will win. I don't have any doubt in that. However, I think it's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be closer than what people think. And you might even see a similar aspect in that we saw in the Raiders game, where our offense or our defense has to kind of like work a little bit harder to win the game. I think it's gonna be closer. My prediction, I would say I know last night I said it was closer to around 20 to 14. Um, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that I feel we're gonna score about 24 points, right? Their offense, I want to say 24 to 10, 24 to 14, somewhere around there. That's where I'm sitting at right now. Um, that's right, great White Willie. That's right. I remember now. You are part Syrian. That's awesome. Um, so that is definitely awesome. Alaikum salam, then I'll say to you. Um, or salam alaikum that we say in Persian. That's correct. Um, so I'm excited for this Jets game. I'm very, very excited. Um, I want to see what Tua does, and that's the reason I'm excited. Even though I think it's going to be a struggle at times, and times one side of the ball is going to perform way better, and we still win. I'm more excited to see how Tua plays against this style of defense by the Jets. I want to see what he can do. We haven't got to see this offense or what we saw last year with Tua at the helm against the Jets. We didn't get to see that. We had the issue where Teddy Bridgewater went down right after the first play, and then Skylar Thompson had to come in and do what he had to do. Now, Skylar Thompson did win the second game. They didn't rout us, but I want to see what Tua does. Everyone says that Tua is the guy that makes the offense click, and I bought into that, and I agree with it because I see it. But I want him to show us against the Jets, right? I want to see that. Oh, okay. Cool. That's pretty cool. Great White Willie. That's awesome. Is Jeff Wilson playing tomorrow? Well, Savan Ahmed, I know went to the injured reserve, so I hope to God he's playing. Because beyond that, all we really have is Mostert and Achan. I wonder if he's playing. I don't know. I'll be mildly surprised. But he's still kind of knocked up a little bit, so that's kind of where I'm kind of concerned with our running backs. If you guys remember in the offseason and even during the preseason, even by the trade deadline, I was slamming the table that we need to bring in a running back. I could see that these running backs had glass ankles, or figuratively, not literally, but figuratively, something's going to happen where we're going to go through all of our running backs. Well, here we are. You had Achan who hit the IR. You had Savan Ahmed who hasn't really shown a lot, didn't really play a lot off the get-go, and then gets injured. Brooks, who showed a lot of promise and then got injured, he's gone. Jeff Wilson came off the PUP list, and we really haven't seen Jeff Wilson do anything really spectacular. So that I need to see that. But now and Achan's back from IR, but now banged up again. I really need to see Jeff Wilson do something, and hopefully Mostert can stay healthy for the rest of the season. Because right now, all it takes is one or two more knocks, and we don't have any more running backs. What are you going to do? We can't just be a complete passing game. We do need to have running backs. I said it before. This scheme is very grueling and harmful to our running backs, and that's why teams like Kansas City, who run something similar, went through running backs every year. I can remember one year they had to convert Debo. Debo wasn't originally a running back; he was a receiver, and they converted him to running back because they went through all their running backs. That's how he became the guy he is. So I understand you're banging the table for Chris Brooks. So am I. I like the guy. Dude, that guy has. How do I put this? Mostert and Achan have the speed. Brooks, from the little bit that we saw, he has the nasty. You know what I mean? He doesn't necessarily have their speed, but he has the nasty that I think this running back room needs on 3rd and 4th down. And it's sad that we don't have him right now. So that's in my opinion. So that is what's going on this week. So the Jets, remember, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Go on Amazon, sign up for your Amazon account. You can watch it free on Amazon Prime. No subscription required. So All right. Dolphins offensive line. This is according to Omar Kelly. Injuries have forced 7 different starting combinations for the Miami Dolphins. At this point, the NFL season, the list of players with injuries and ailments on each roster is usually longer than the healthy ones. That's why it's not surprising that every member of the Miami Dolphins' projected starting offensive line is battling an injury heading into Friday's game against the New York Jets. Left tackle Teron Armstead will play in his 5th game of the season after battling his way back from a knee and foot injury. Showed up for practice 20 minutes into Thursday's session. Whether his tardiness was injury related is unknown, but Armstead has vowed to finish his 11th NFL season on the field. Lester Cotton, who has replaced Isaiah Wynn on the injured reserve with a quadricep injury as the starting left guard, injured his hip in Miami's 20-13 win over the Las Vegas Raiders. And right tackle Austin Jackson, the Dolphins' starting right tackle, is rehabbing an oblique injury that recently flared up. Starting center Connor Williams continues to nurse a groin strain. He's played the past 2 games and continued to practice without limitations, which is a good sign. Robert Hunt, who strained his left hamstring in Miami's win over New England Patriots last month, has missed the past 2 games, but participated in first practice of the month on Thursday. That is awesome. I'm glad to see that Robert Hunt is starting to come back. It really sucks to see all these injuries, not including, let's not forget Robert Jones, who injured his knee in Miami's loss to Kansas City on November 5th, also returned to practice on Thursday and is seemingly on the road back. Whew, this is great news. Yeah, there's a lot of injuries up and down this offensive line. It kind of scares me. You're going up against guys that are, I want to say, is one of the better defensive lines and defenses, in my opinion, in the league. I know it's the Jets. I know they don't have a chance when it comes to offense because they're on their 3rd quarterback. Really, is he really going to be the guy that does anything? As far as I care, our defense should be able to handle him pretty well, in my opinion. It'll be really interesting to see what the Jets do with the fact that they've benched Zach Wilson and, without Aaron Rodgers, it'll be pretty interesting. We'll have to see what they do offensively. But regarding the defense, that defense is strong. So it'll be very interesting what we do to scheme against them. When it comes to the, just so you know, in regards to that, he goes on to say, McDaniel says, I'm very optimistic that Austin and Lester will play. I feel pretty confident that McDaniel said. Rob Hunt, I'm optimistic that he will be dressed. So Rob Hunt may not start the game, but they're confident that he will be dressed. So that'll be very interesting. McDaniel has been cautious with Hunt's return because the fear Hunt, a 4-year starter, could re-aggravate the strain and suffer a setback that would impact his performance when Miami is playing critical December games that dictate the team's playoff seeding. This I agree with. The December push is very, very important. We need to make sure our guys can withstand that December push. Usually, if you don't know who we're playing, let me just give you a perspective. Let's not worry about the Jets. Let's not worry about Tennessee or the Commanders, right? Take those games out of it. Then you got Dallas. Yeah, their defense is really popping. Their offense shows up every once in a while, too. Then you got Baltimore Ravens. They're kind of hot right now. Lamar Jackson, that team's pretty hot right now. And then, lo and behold, you got the Buffalo Bills again. Now, am I worried about Buffalo so much anymore? No, not really. What I want us to see is take care of business. Take care of the Jets like you're supposed to. Take care of Tennessee like you're supposed to. Take care of the Commanders like you're supposed to, right? And then take care out of at least 2 or 3. I would love all 3. That would be awesome. Get the hat trick against all 3 of the last games. But take care of business because I personally would love to be going into week 18 without having to play a game, without having to play. I'm not going to say play a game, but I would say I would like to be able to sit Tua so he doesn't have to play, right? I'd like to sit Tyreek and rest our starters and not worry about that last game like a lot of teams do that are already made the playoffs. I want us to already make the playoffs. I want us to already have no bearing if we win or lose on that last game. That's what I want to see. So that's where I'm at. McDaniel, I'm sorry. The Dolphins allowed Williams to dress a week before they allowed him to return to the starting lineup, and could be what's on the docket for Hunt. So basically, Connor Williams, he was dressed standing on the sidelines, but Eichenberg still was playing for him, right, in that one game. It goes on to say if Hunt doesn't play, it's likely that Liam Eichenberg would start his sixth game of the season, and second at right guard, Jones, who was Hunt's initial replacement before the knee injury, is also an option. When it comes to the roster, there's just certain things that are going to be what they are, and day to day we address it and we will work through it. Dolphins offensive coordinator Frank Smith said. So when it comes to offensive line, each day we're working with the guys that are going to be available, and we're doing the best we can to schematically to make sure we put guys in their best position. That's true. Like I said, I'm interested to find out how they scheme up against the defense of the Jets. Don't expect the Jets or numerous other NFL teams to feel sorry for the Dolphins when it comes to the offensive line woes. Unless Mekhi Becton decides to play on the knee and ankle injury he suffered last week. Left guard Laken Tomlinson will be the only Jets offensive lineman who has started every game. The rest of the Jets offensive line will be backups on Friday unless Dwayne Brown, who has been sidelined with a hip injury, comes back from the injury reserve and returns to the starting lineup. This will be the Jets' 8 different offensive line groupings in 11 games, and that unit struggling in one of the reasons the Jets possess one of the NFL's worst offenses. When Hunt is cleared to return, the Dolphins will be on its 8th different offensive lineup if the rest of the unit is status quo and plays. Yet somehow the Dolphins have possessed the NFL's best offense, which is a testament to the way Miami played in the trenches this season. For once, the franchise offensive line, despite all of the injuries, has been a strength of the team and not a weakness. Yes, get to the mixing guys in, but that's the game, and that's the importance of depth and having everybody ready. Armstead said we had one game with the starting O-line, and I think that was Denver, maybe Buffalo too, the beginning of Buffalo. So we didn't get much with the original starting O-line, but we've got guys that are more than ready, more than capable, and have been playing well. That's part of the game of football, though. Every position, you got to have depth. Armstead continued. I think that the deepest team goes the furthest, not necessarily the most talented, all the time. This is true. To be 100% honest, we were throwing question marks all over our offensive line. We were throwing question marks like, why didn't Chris Greer get an offensive tackle in the free agency? Why didn't we pick up a starting guard or a center or whatnot? And all these positions we question marks. What are we doing? They knew what they had. They signed the guys that they needed to have depth, and that's something we haven't had in a while on our offensive line. We have depth. Believe it or not, we have depth at center. Eichenberg is a pretty okay, successful center. I agree with it. Shout out to this guy. What's up, Color? How you doing, my friend? Happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Pretty good. Happy Thanksgiving, Ollie.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. I did this on the whim. I kind of wanted to say thank you to everybody. I thought about it late last night when I was doing some prep work for Thanksgiving dinner. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get up early and just do a 1 hour, maybe a 1.5 hour show. That's it.
Well, it's going to easily go 2 now, bro.
Well, you can finish it for me because I can't go over that, to be honest.
Yeah, no worries.
Uh, but I just want to say, bro, as friend to friend, I know recently people were poking fun at how me and you blew up on each other. But the reality is, bro, I love you, bro. I'm thankful for you being a friend. I'm thank you for being my co-host. Thank you for you being one of the original people that invited me to TFTG. I am thankful for everything that you do around these parts. So thank you.
Oh, pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure working with you and knowing you, man. Going to games and I mean, I'm thankful to have friends like you, bro. So,
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I'm thankful for. So we're talking offensive line right this moment, Color. And
oh,
they we
by the
go ahead.
way, I just want to remind you that when I first saw you in chat, remember what I called you? Alita?
Oh yeah.
Because I
Cause
didn't
back
know it was Ali the Persian. I thought it was Alita
because I had
Persian.
it all one word instead of spaced out. I think that's why I don't remember that. That was a long time ago. But believe it or not, you're not the only one that made that mistake. My friends across the pond, and I'm not talking about Kadeem, but across the Atlantic in England, I have a lot of friends that are Chelsea fans, right? I'm a big Chelsea Premier League soccer team fan. I love diehard Chelsea fan, right? And in their chats and their YouTube, I had the same name, obviously, and they called me Alita too, and I'm like, it's Ali the Persian,
Well,
like
it was
the
it
Bears.
was right around that time, anime was getting real big, and there was that one character, Alita, and I just thought you were like some anime fanboy or something.
I love anime, but I'm not a fanboy like that. I'm not too crazy into it, but I do like some good animes though. There's some good. But yeah, I remember that. And I actually used to not call you Color either. I called you Cooler.
Oh yeah, that's a common one, man. Like my whole life. Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm used to it. Ironically, being down here in South Florida, where there's a large Latin population, it's amazing I don't get Coulier more often or Coulier with the pronounced as a Y because of the double L.
I'd like to introduce you to my friend Queer Commentary. He's queer.
Right, right.
Queer, we have a mess on aisle one. No, messing around. Um, long story short, I I'm thankful and it's funny. It's been what? It's been 2 years. Actually not even 2 years because you guys had been going almost half a year when I joined. So it's been a year and a half. Oh, okay. Gotta open up the pickles.
This would be the second Turkey Day, I believe. Uh-oh, the pickles muted you.
Can you still hear me, Color?
I can now. I can. Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
There you go.
You're
All right, Color, can you hear me
inbound.
now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
For some reason. Let me fix that.
Yeah, your inbound was off.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Color, you take over. I'll be right back. Be right back.
All right. Inbound must be down. So yeah, mom got called into work, so I'm gonna be going to turkey dinner or Thanksgiving dinner a little later in the afternoon. Going out to Flanagan's in Wellington. Y'all are welcome to come by and say hi. I don't know how long I'll be there, but uh, the mall will be closed, so there's no other reason. But we were gonna do Japanese, but we do Japanese every year, so we decided to call around. Looks like old man Flanagan must not celebrate or something. But no, they'll be serving a turkey dinner and a full menu. So I'm probably gonna go with the turkey dinner. Mom isn't into turkey as much as I. I'm a red-blooded American. I have to have my annual dose of turkey. But the weather's beautiful. Everybody, check it out. I mean, how do you get better than that on Thanksgiving Day? You know, the whole rest of the country's probably in misery and cold right now. And we're sitting here about to get fat, about to watch some football. And yeah. So what do y'all think about today's action? All NFC nonsense. I think probably the most competitive out of the three is probably going to be that Dallas game, considering the Commanders been playing Philadelphia pretty competitively this year. And it's a division game. The first thought would be that 49ers Seahawks game, but I think the 49ers are going to show just what class the Seahawks belong in today. And I think Dallas has enough, they get in their own way too, a lot like we do. So look for Washington to exploit that and make it an interesting game. I don't really see them having a tank for any reason. I mean, they already got too many wins. And they got a new quarterback already, so who seems to be doing all right. I don't even know who the first action is. I mean, honestly, NFC, as a Dolphin fan, I mean, really, it's just boring. They don't even have the best NFC teams playing today. Like, it'd be cool if it was like the Eagles-Bills game or something. Or even, something better, 49ers and Cowboys or something, something like that. But I guess it's hard to predict who's going to be who by the end of the year, every year when you set the schedules. Yeah, it is. Well, normally Jermaine says he feels like it's the same teams every year, and it is. I mean, traditionally, it's supposed to be at least Dallas and Detroit. Those are the two teams that have always played on Thanksgiving Day. The only teams that have played on Thanksgiving Day, and now because of money and marketing and all that, NBC had to get in there, and we got to have a Thanksgiving game now too. So we've got football night in America at 8:00 now. They've been throwing in a good AFC matchup, but this year it's all NFC, and not even the best ones. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you too, Canes. Canes Heat. Marino's Goat, I see you in chat. Jermaine, as I said, Mudbone. Aquavision, how you doing, Aquavision? I told you we'd do something, man. I didn't get up as early as I wanted to, but Aqua asked if we were doing a show this morning, and I figured I'd try to do something, and then Ali said he was gonna, so I just jumped on his coattails. But yeah, I mean, you guys have been really great to us over the past couple of years. And it's cool to be able to hang with you on Thanksgiving Day for a couple hours in the morning. Us with no lives and no friends and family. That's me. I'm a loner. You guys are my family, and that's it. So I'm stuck around. Go have dinner with Mom tomorrow. We're gonna be cooking up another big old pot of chili for the game. Lots of good action going on tomorrow. Mainly Jets and Dolphins. I think that game starts at 3:00. Am I right about that, Ollie?
That is correct. Can you hear me?
I can. I could hear you before. You just couldn't hear me. I'm showing you muted. I did hear you for a second.
Color, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
What in the heck is going on?
It's your import. It's your inbound. Somebody message him and tell him it's his inbound. We can hear him. Well, I appreciate that, Aqua. I remember when you first started coming around, man. Probably didn't like a lot of my takes back then. Probably still don't, but I think you've we've all grown to understand each other a little more. When you first hear somebody talk and they say something you think is crazy, you know, that tends to make an impression, you know what I mean? But I think even Mudbone, Jermaine, all these guys, man, y'all came at me pretty hard, you know, at first. And I think you start to grow to understand me. Some days you probably still hate me. I'm a real volatile person. It just is what it is. But know that I always mean well. It doesn't always seem like it. I just have a certain code that isn't compatible with everybody's, and it's maybe a little antiquated, but I try to update it and adjust it as much as I can. I do my Windows updates responsibly. So, you know, it just takes time. Sometimes it's like, you know, you hear things and it's like, no big deal. And then other times the littlest thing is just sets you off. I think we're all like that in some ways. But, you know, on a day like today, I got to remind everybody, know that I care. I don't, you know, if I didn't care, you wouldn't hear one peep out of me. I wouldn't spend one bit of energy on it. And you all know for yourselves, we don't spend energy on things we don't care about. So even if it seems like you hate something or a person hates something, you got to know that they got to care enough to hate. Like hate is a reaction. So is love. It's a reaction to something. So if you don't care about whatever it is, then you're not going to react to it negatively or positively. So just always know I care. And I know I'm probably getting a little sappy right now, but who cares? Got Jonathan Lizama in here. How you doing, Jonathan? Good morning and happy Thanksgiving to you. Oh, no, Mudbone. I was just saying hi. Just, you know, mentioning that, you know, guys like you, Jermaine, a couple of the other guys that, you know, didn't necessarily agree with all the stuff I say all the time, you know, but y'all come around every day. You still give respect, and I appreciate that. It's just really a matter of respect. You know, if somebody could disagree or hate everything I say, just respect it. You know, and I try to do the same. Nacho fins. Yeah, well, I know Nacho fins. It may seem weird, but because we all put on a good show, but yeah. Most of my friends and most of my family have succumbed to, you know, the vices of life, and those that have not assumed that I did, and as such have disowned me. So I'm kind of in a conundrum, but I just try to be good to everybody I can. And if people want to, you know, stereotype or you know, think of things about you, you know what's good for yourself. You know what you are. We all know what we are for ourselves, and you know, it is what it is. You know, it's all about, maybe it's standards. I don't know, like probably too ridiculous high standards for, you know, because obviously I don't hold myself to those standards either. But at the same time, you know, I can't choose what people do with their lives. And if they don't want to, you know, if they don't want to avail themselves to my friendship, then, you know, they don't have to. I grew up in a time where all those things we do, all the vices we have in life, were not as acceptable as they are now. And as such, people were not able to still be a part of society, and they're still stuck in that rut to this day. And a lot of those people are my friends and family, and it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All you can do is grow, move on, and gain new friends and family, and that's why I appreciate you all so much, because you know, y'all didn't know me from a hole in the ground 2 years ago. You know, but I don't feel like I'm walking around this earth by myself anymore. I feel like an earthling again. You get to a point in life where, you know, you just start, am I really an earthling? I mean, I know I'm human, but am I an earthling? I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know, Jermaine. I know. You know, you guys have never made it personal. Those that have made it personal, we all know who they are, and you generally don't come around. You know, but so what's everybody doing today, man? Everybody eating a lot? Typical Thanksgiving festivities. How many yards do I think Tyreek will have tomorrow? At least 100. At least 100. I do know that. Waddle's over under tomorrow is 56.5. So for any of you looking for you know, something fairly safe to throw some ducats on, yeah, 56.5. I mean, it's minus 110 is the money line on that, and his average is 65 per game. So I actually added some points and put through $5 on 67, and I was getting plus 110 on that. So we'll see what happens. But 56.5, I think Waddle easily goes over 56.5 tomorrow. Matter of fact, I predict it simply because they're probably going to try to lock Tyreek down. Not that they'll be able to, but Nacho Fins asks, Color, do you remember your favorite Thanksgiving Day game? Well, I want to say that the Leon Lett game happened on Thanksgiving. Did it not? Correct me if I'm wrong, everybody. I know there was snow on the ground, so it might not have been Thanksgiving, but I want to say that was Thanksgiving in Dallas when Leon Lett handed the game back to us. I got a couple yeses. I think they're meant for that question. Yeah, Nacho Fins. Yeah, I think, yeah, that was Thanksgiving. I thought it was. And that was the game where, you know, back then, Dallas was just unbeatable, but like, especially for a team like us, even with Marino and all that, and we were competitive, but Dallas was just too much for everybody. I mean, they were consistently 15-1, 14-2, you know, and that was one of those days where Ali, I could hear you fine the whole time. You just you just couldn't hear me. It was your inbound.
Yeah, let me explain what happened. So after I kind of knocked the jar just to open it up for her without thinking about it. It did something with my system. But what was weird, Brave, which is the what do they call it? The browser I use, was blocking my microphone and camera to be used anywhere. And then after I fixed that, I still couldn't hear anybody. So I was like, hello, are you hearing me? So I had to like restart. You know, I re-downloaded the drivers and all that. It was weird. And I don't know.
Yeah, happens to me a lot on the inbound because my speakers have a touch sensitive on-off button. And I'll touch it every once in a while, not realizing my speakers are off and I can't hear anybody. And I'm like, oh, so I'll go and like, you know, instead of checking my connections, I'll end up like, you know, backing out of the server, coming back in, checking my software. It's like, oh, and the speakers were just turned off the whole time. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. So Color, I know I was talking about offensive
Well,
line.
real
Where are
quick,
we
real
Yeah.
quick, just to finish my thought, real quick, I was explaining that the Leon Lett game on Thanksgiving, the Dallas game, that debacle, like Dallas was so good during that time that I honestly like there was, and I hate to say this because obviously I've wavered in my fandom in my long history of being a fan, but that day I wanted nothing to do with that game. I knew we were going to lose. I didn't even want to watch it. It was typical Dallas dominating everybody, and I didn't want anything to do with that.
Yep.
So we went out on the boat that day for Thanksgiving. Had a long day on the water. Came back home, walked into the living room, turned on the TV, and Leon Lett had just done what he had done and we were setting up to kick the second time, and we kicked the game-winning field goal and won the game. That was the only play I saw that whole game.
Wow. Yeah, I
So I
remember
learned my lesson that day. You never, ever, 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 ever give up on your team. Ever.
Yeah,
That's the day I learned that lesson.
I remember it was me, my brother, and my sister, and we're being babysat by my cousin. And we, instead of having like just a Thanksgiving dinner, my mom they had to work or something to that effect. But my mom bought a whole bunch of different foods for us, right? That you could easily throw in the oven and microwave and whatnot. And we had a big feast. It was like Thanksgiving to us, but it was a bunch of different random stuff. Everything from those pizza bagels to you name it, we had it. And I remember watching that game at the very last field goal. I was like, "Yeah, Dolphins!" It was crazy. I remember that field goal. I was sitting at my dinner table with the TV right there because it was open room. We could see it. So yeah, that was a good game, Color. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good
Yep,
thing.
that was the day I learned you never give up on your team, and that was also the day that a whole lot of casuals learned about that rule that you don't touch the football after they kick it.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Shout out
Like
to
nobody knew. They had to explain, oh, it's a live football when they touch it like that. It's like nobody even knew.
Canes Heat. How you doing? I'm just catching up with some people. Mudbone, how you doing? Samuel Lance, how are you? I see Nacho Fins is in here.
Newfoundland, how you doing, Newfoundland?
Dolphinier, how you doing, sir? I like that name.
Newfoundland will be having turkey a complete hour earlier than every one of us.
True. In addition to that, I really kind of like, I do agree with what Miss Fins is saying here. She said, well, I'm over on the Waddle yards at 64.5. I'm over on that too. I think he's going to have a 100-yard game personally.
Yeah, I got 56 and a half at minus 110, bro. I was able to I added 10 yards and got plus 110 on it. So I'm at 67 yards plus 110.
Yeah. Yep, my wife is making pumpkin cookies right now. They smell really good. I'm like, God, I got to get another one. And they're so good.
Yeah,
bro.
I meant to say good morning and happy Thanksgiving to Miss Fins as well. She just popped in. Marino's goat, Dolphinier.
Definitely Nacho Fins. Happy Thanksgiving. So
And the rest of the 20 of you watching.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't y'all have lives?
Shout out to all y'all. So Color, let me just check to make sure there's not one more article I gotta read because I read about the offensive line that was kind of a question mark.
Right
I set the stage already. Ooh, this one is a new one, I think. Let me see what this is about. There's some questions we can answer, but before we do so, before we get into this article real quick, for fantasy, right? I gotta try to win out the rest of the season here. There's a slight chance I could get on the tail end. Kansas City defense or versus the Raiders or Giants defense, who's been kind of good lately. They're defensively, they've been good. Versus New England. Which one you got?
Man, you know that you are the second person in as many days that asked that exact same question, man. Like, my first instinct was KC. Simply because I don't trust the Giants or the Patriots. Either one of them could blow each other out, and it could end up being a 42-41 game between two really bad teams.
Yeah.
You know, at the same time, when you're talking about Kansas City has not shown that their offense is any more powerful. Like they're scoring 24, 23, 24 points a game right now.
Yeah.
You know, they're pretty much like, if you look at the way we are, we're at 30 per game and we're at 23 or 24 on defense. That's exactly where Kansas City was the last time they won the Super Bowl, and we were at their numbers. You know, 24 points a game on offense, and what are they holding, 20 on defense or something, like really low? You know what I mean? Like, they are pretty much us from the last couple of years, and I don't know. I don't think that they're going to be able to. You know, I know you were asking about the KC defense. I would even consider the Raiders defense, to be honest with you. But the Raiders, you know, we saw what they can do. They haven't, you know, they put a lot of points on who was it, the Jets or Giants or somebody? Yeah, Giants. You know, but it's the Giants. And there's your answer, too. If the Raiders put 30-some points on the Giants, do you want the Giants defense? I mean, you got to think of something else too. New England is going to want to see some offensive production. If they're going, are they going with Bailey Zappi or who they going with at quarterback? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see your
They
point.
might get things right. You know.
Well,
I would just probably, if I didn't want to think about it too hard, I would just default to the Kansas City defense and be done with it. If you're wrong, if you're wrong and it could have been the other one, no, but you can't blame yourself for that decision. You know what I mean? Kansas City's been playing lockdown defense all year.
Let me look at their stats. I'm checking right now.
Maybe even go to get another point of information, Ali, to your calculus. Go to DraftKings and see how much the Kansas City defense costs compared to the Giants defense. That'll give you kind of an understanding of what the odds makers think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I'm just looking at the fact that the opponent.
Because if the Giants defense is like 2,800 and the KC defense is like 3,900, that's obviously you go with the KC defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna go. The experts are saying I should go Kansas City defense, right? That's what the experts are saying. But I was looking at it. Kansas City is playing against the 28th ranked offense, and the Giants are playing against the 32nd ranked offense. So that's kind of why I was questioning which one would you. They're both. It's like battle
and with the Giants Patriots, it could go either way. It could be a bad game and high scoring, or it could be a worthless game and no points at all for either team.
That's true.
If it ends 10-9, then your choice would have been the Giants there. You know what I mean? Over the Chiefs. But
yeah, I agree. I think I'm going to
here's the other thing, Ali. Wasn't it the Patriots? Did the Patriots beat the Chiefs or no? Who was it? Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. It must have been the Broncos or the Bills. Somebody put up like 29 points on a good defense, and it was a bad team like the Patriots. I thought it was the Patriots that put up 29 on one of these good defenses. Maybe it was the Jets. I don't know. Because I'm just saying, the Patriots, you know, they're just one of those teams that if they have a good game, they can put up a lot of points. But it's not likely they have a good game, you know. Just depends on whether Belichick is anti-tank or not. Because if he's really still trying to coach to win, then I wouldn't be taking the Giants defense to this week. That's how I feel about it.
Good point.
Again, it's one of those, if you just kind of not think too hard about it, you know what I mean? You'll just go with the KC defense.
Yeah.
And again, you can't be salty if you're wrong about that, you know?
Mm-hmm. I gotcha. All right. That being said, let's go over this. This is by Alan Papar. He basically does some Q&A. We're gonna ask some questions, what he says, and then we'll comment on it. Okay. We'll finish up the show with that so we get through this, and then we'll close it down. All right. So, Alan Papar, Thursday's Dolphins mailbag, Eichenberg, Waddle, and more is called. Should the Dolphins sign Austin Jackson to an extension in season? The question here would be why Jackson would be bigger priority at this time than, say, Wilkins or Hunt or Williams. If Dolphins can't extend any of them at a good price, sure, why not? But there are going to be some tough decisions.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Another jar of pickles, Ollie? Man, you got to get rid of them pickles, Ollie. Them jars of pickles are screwing you up, dude. Tell him, everybody. There you are. Now you're
Wait,
off.
I'm on mute again, and I
I
can't
can
hear
hear
nothing
you.
again.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Hold on a second.
Gobbles!
All right, can you hear me now?
Gobbles?
Gobbles, gobble.
Gobbles!
I don't know what's going on, bro. Like, it just switches by itself. I'm sitting there like, well, why is the color responding? What was the last thing you heard?
You had just started to talk about Wilkins or Austin Jackson being a better option than Wilkins or whatever else.
No, all right, so let me repeat it again. I'm sorry. So, he goes on to say that the question here would be why would Jackson would be a bigger priority at this time than, say, Wilkins or Hunt or Williams? If Dolphins can extend any of them at a good price, sure, why not? But there are going to be some tough decisions to make next spring, and extending of them right now is only lessen the cap room available in 2024. So I do agree. Why would he take priority over some of the other guys? You have Connor Williams, you have to resign. You have Rob Hunt that is due for a contract. You have Jalen Waddle that's due for a contract. You have Jalen Phillips that's due for a contract. Still got to pay Javon Holland. We have all these guys that we got to pay. Why does he take priority versus some of the others? I think you kind of have to wait and see. What do you think?
I think like Lewis thinks. We got to protect Tua. That should be first and foremost priority. That's always been the priority, and I don't know what's changed.
Tua learned how to fall. That's what's changed.
Yeah, and he has been more like he's been looking more durable, so I guess maybe everybody just forgot about that. I don't know, but
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, bro. He has taken hits that I'd say were worse than some of the hits he took last season and got concussion off of. And he's not.
So are we getting complacent though? Is that a sign of complacency though?
I don't want to say that, bro. I just want to say that I do see the difference in Tua and how he's taking tackles. That's what I'm going to tell you.
Sure.
He's sliding better. How he rolls when he gets hit and how he rolls down on his getting tackled, you can kind of see where that some of those jiu-jitsu stuff that he learned has come into effect to help him, play the whole season.
Right.
So that's where I'm on it right now. I kind of think maybe they're looking at the fact that they don't have to worry so much of. I mean, Chris Greer has been telling you all this whole time, I'm not going to invest any more into this this offensive line. Why would I do that much more? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it. That's my thought. But Rob Hunt, I think, is a must. I think Rob Hunt is a must. Connor Williams, for me, he's lower on the totem pole of signing than Rob Hunt. He's the lower. I think Rob Hunt is a must. I think you definitely have to make a decision with Wilkins. Either you re-sign him or you just tell us and get us over with that we're going to move on, right? Jalen Waddle is a must because speed is how this offense works. Without it, it doesn't click. It's speed, speed, speed. You need to keep the speed on the team. And Jalen Phillips, he's a question mark for me. Now, granted, you're not necessarily in a rush to sign him, but signing him now would save us money in the long run. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Boy, he is trending up, man. It might be high time to do it.
That's why I think now is a good time because you're going to save money. The longer you wait, the more expensive it gets. Just like Christian Wilkins, the longer you wait, the more expensive it potentially gets.
Yeah, and Phillips is also showing signs of being the guy that we expected him to be, too. So, I mean, that's going to be expensive eventually.
I agree 100%. Let's move on to the next question, Color. How do Dolphins prevent from coming out flat against the Jets team with a strong, respectable defense and a pitiful offense? Could this be a trap game? Hey, precisely because the Jets have a very good defense and they could be energized by having a new quarterback, regardless of who it is. I think the idea of the Dolphins coming out flat should be rejected. Besides, trap games usually come before or after really big games. And this is one that's sandwiched around the Raiders and Commanders. So that doesn't really apply here. I disagree with that take.
I don't, but go ahead. Let me hear your disagreement.
Let me explain why. And my wife is even commenting from the kitchen. My take on this is that it's a trap game. All games are trap games because the longer we go here and we're constantly saying we have the best offense, our team is so fast, no, it's unstoppable. Nobody's faster than Cheetah. We saw it on Hard Knocks. They're talking about how we have 4 or 5 of the top fastest people in the NFL are on this team. There should be no reason why we can't take care of business and win this game. It is unlikely the Jets win, and that's why it would be a trap game. You could be too complacent and overlook your opponent and lose this game, and that's something Miami cannot afford to do. We need to continue to focus game to game and win, and that's why all games, regardless if it's the Jets, regardless if it's the Commanders, Dallas, Ravens, Buffalo Bills, Tennessee Titans, doesn't matter. It's a trap game because we should win all of those games. We should win out the season, in my opinion, and I can't afford to overlook anybody. That's why it's a trap game to me, in my opinion. Go ahead,
Right.
Color. Go ahead with your response.
So I don't disagree with all of your points there. In that respect, again, I agree. Every game's a trap. I mean, if we believe that our team can beat everybody in this league, then every game's a trap. Even the best teams are a trap. It shouldn't be because it's a lesser grade team that we're going to overlook them or it's going to be a trap. The other thing I would say is that while I'd be mindful of the trap and while I could qualify as a trap game, there is zero evidence this season that we should expect to be trapped or worry about being trapped.
That's
on
the
contrary, there's ample evidence that we won't be trapped. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I disagree with the idea that this game, we should worry about that here because we haven't shown any evidence that we should need to worry about these types of games.
Yeah.
So far. Now that evidence could be shown this week, so we got to be mindful of it, but I'm not concerned about it myself, like where I normally would be. Like last year, I would be concerned about it.
Yeah,
and it is a divisional opponent, so I'm concerned to the point of it's a divisional opponent, and it doesn't matter whose record is what. Those are tough games. and need to be respected, So that's where I'm at on it. But traditional use of the word trap, like, there's been no evidence this season that we've been affected by that. And you know how I am about lack of evidence. I don't know if you're muted again, Ali, but all right. I'm talking. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'll talk until you can hear me. We got to get Ali an AV guy, man, like mainly on the audio side. So what do you guys think? I mean, I mean, yeah. I mean, I know what y'all are going to say. Yeah, everything's a trap. It's always a trap. The Jets. But man, I don't know. They're just they're just like even emotionally they're falling apart. I just can't see how the Jets are going to get up for this game, even for a spoiler.
I hear you. And see, that's why I think it is a trap game, because the fact that we should win this game based on everything we see. We should win this game, no problem. And that's why you got to take it that much more serious, in my opinion. Now,
you're right. You're right about that. I think the evidence shows that we will.
Yeah.
And there's no evidence to show that we won't. You know what I mean?
That's where I agree with you that we should win this game, no problem. There should be we have more than enough. And this is my honest opinion. This team, offensively and defensively, both hand in hand, in my opinion, 100% honest to God, has enough talent to win out this entire rest of the season.
Absolutely.
They have no question. And even
if you're conceding an upper a quality level of execution, then yeah, I agree.
And I'm going to take it a step further. This is how much hot take this is, right? Barring no injuries, if we were healthy in every single one of our games, 100% healthy, right? With proper execution, we could have gone undefeated this season. Even that Eagles game that they took away from us because the referees didn't know how to call penalty on the opposing team, right? Even if let's say you had different referees, we could have definitely won every single one of these games. If you think we can't beat Kansas City, that's BS, because it was one fumble that ruined that game for us.
Yep.
Right? That's what happened.
And statistically speaking, we did beat them.
Yes, statistically speaking, we did beat them. So even the Buffalo Bills game where we got blown out, if you look at it for really what it was, to be 100%, you had a center who had never played center before and got announced that he's the starter the day of the game, right? You had injuries.
Defense was still decimated, right? Yep.
Yeah, defense was still decimated. You had offensive line issues and whatnot, and even that being said, I still think we have the talent to compete and beat Buffalo without any problem.
We still rushed over 100 yards on them.
I mean, look at it for what it was. We were trading touchdowns in the beginning, 2 back-to-back touchdowns, no problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
And if everybody could see through their instinct of saying that we're making excuses, we're not. We're simply saying we still were competitive, even with us shooting ourselves in the foot, even with the fact that we made mistakes, all of that, we still were competitive. And the proof is there that we were competitive.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, shout out to Chef Jew. I know I would love to be at his house on Thanksgiving because, it's Chef Jew. He's probably cooking up something really good. Hell yeah, man. Shout out to Chef Jew and the ambassador of TFTG and the Miami Dolphins fan base. So shout out to him. But yeah, man, that's where I'm at with that. Let's go to the next question because I got to finish these up, Color. Next one is You've watched and covered this team for years. Old Dolphin teams would have lost that game Sunday. Agree? Also, a question mark. Also, what adjustments have you seen McDaniel make to close coverage? Question mark. He goes on to say there are certain additions to Dolphin teams that would have lost Sunday, absolutely. But the past couple of years, the Dolphins usually have found a way to win those games. And the Sunday night Pittsburgh game last year was one such example. As for adjustments to close coverage, I'll keep looking, but I haven't seen anything that really stands out. I do agree with him. You have seen Miami Dolphin teams, certain versions, actually win games like that. I've seen it before. Um, but have you seen, what have you seen McDaniel do to close coverage? Color, or did I lose?
Not much. Not much, to be honest with you.
He doesn't really change things. I mean, even on Hard Knocks, like, he made a comment about, you know, sometimes I'm kind of stubborn and I, may not want to change what I'm doing and I do it my way or whatever. He made some comment to that effect in regards to something. And I agree with that. I don't think he's gonna make adjustments or change the way he plays. He's gonna force you to defend the way you have to play against him. That's what he's gonna do. Um, like it or not, he will find a way, like a chess match, to get around whatever obstacle you put in front of him. Um, that's kind of what I see. Did you watch the Hard Knocks, Color?
Yes, absolutely. We
So
actually had a little watch party with the guys that night.
yeah, I'm sorry, I may have missed it. Um, I kind of
Well,
like.
it was for those who I was sharing it, so it was for those who didn't have like we were all in a private
Oh,
backstage.
so it wasn't live. Okay, all right.
No, no, no.
So I didn't know what you meant. Sorry. So that being said, um, I was kind of impressed to see, and I know teams probably do this, but I'm glad I actually got to physically kind of see it, how they prep for certain defenses or certain defenders that they are going up against, like how they prepped for Max Crosby in the sense of like trying to mimic what he does to Tua in practice, having him always constantly messing with him, shouldering him, having his hands on him somehow. That was cool to see that because it builds like muscle memory and it prepares you for what to expect in a game. You know what I mean? To make sure that your quarterback doesn't get phased by something. And not just the quarterback, you can do that with any position. But I like seeing it. What did you think of some of the
I
things he did?
actually thought it was because that's probably one of those things that the Dolphins would have had to approve
Yeah.
getting out. And I think it actually shows a lot of class that they're saying, hey, Hard Knocks should be for everybody. Hard Knocks is about inside the NFL. You know what I mean? No trademark infringement intended. And so you only got one team doing it, but I think by us releasing that, that's a lot of respect to Crosby. That's a lot of respect to saying, hey, this show is also about pointing out other excellence in the league. And this is what we had to do to defend against that excellence, but recognize what it is. This guy is a stud. You know what I mean? And that I thought that was pretty classy. It's like a veiled compliment basically to Max Crosby, to the rest of the world. Like, who's this guy? If you didn't know who he was, you know who he is now after the Dolphins Hard Knocks. And I thought that was quite classy for the Dolphins to do.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I liked what I saw. It wasn't too crazy. I got to learn a little bit more about certain things and certain players and coaches and whatnot. I actually enjoyed it. You know what I mean? It was actually fun watching, and even the bit with Tyreek's mom and his wife and everything, that was funny. I love seeing her. She's a character of her own. And the whole issue with the nachos, that was funny. I felt bad for that guy. Did you see how white that guy's face got?
I know. And now they're all trying to track him down on Twitter. It's like, come on, people.
First of all, it wasn't necessarily his fault. If you watch the slow-mo, she got her hands
Oh, it
up
was
like
totally
Jalen
her
Phillips.
fault, bro.
Yeah, she got her hands up like Jalen Phillips does, you know, and he was like,
And you know what? It was by the length of her fingernails, bro, that she caught the edge of that nacho tray.
yeah.
If she didn't have done up fingernails, if her fingernails were 2 millimeters shorter, that would have never happened.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of funny. It was funny. I do want to see more of Tyreek's mom, though. She was a big hit for
Oh,
me.
she's great.
Oh, bro,
She's great,
I
man.
loved it. She would
And
be
with
so
nachos running down the back of my pants and shit.
I'm
It's
not
so
sure what
good.
Tyreek's mom's name is, but Miss Hill, or if you go by a different last name, I apologize. Please come to the TFTG. We would love to have an interview with you. You seem like someone that would be amazing to have around. We
Oh,
love you. We
absolutely.
love your energy and what you bring. I definitely would love to have you on the show. So if you're watching, please hit us up. We would like to interview sometime. But
But
yeah,
overall,
great.
Ali, everybody knows I'm not a big fan of having the distraction. I hated the idea of all this.
Yes.
But I thought after watching the show, it changed my mind a little. I'm really impressed by how they put together the show. I think the HBO production was top notch,
Mhm.
and I think that they did a really good job of not insisting on themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
Can I
just
give you a hot take about the show and
sure.
certain things you saw? Okay, hot take. Could the fact that they know certain things are going to be said about certain players and how they're defending them, could what they're doing in certain things they're saying, like for example, how much McDaniel respected Crosby, for example,
Hmm.
maybe indirectly doing some recruiting, if you know what I mean, for
No,
upcoming.
right. I hear you there.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, hey, this guy is awesome. We would love to have him on this team, but we have to go up against you. You're amazing, bro. We value you so much. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yep.
That's just stick in my head if I'm the opposing defender that they're talking about. Be like, these guys really like me. Oh, I'm a free agent. Maybe I should see what they got going on over there. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And
Yep.
it's see it on TV. You're gonna watch the show because you were in it, obviously. So you're gonna see and hear all the things they said about you beforehand. So, it's kind of like indirectly trying to what do they call that? Where you're like, what do they call that? Where you're trying to sign a player before you're legally allowed to. You know what I'm talking about? What we got
Tampering.
in trouble for. Tampering. Yeah, it's like you're kind of like tampering indirectly without them realizing it.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That
And
kind of
by the
thing.
way, and kudos to the HBO production team. How the heck did they hold on to that nacho incident for a whole week, man? And
Mm,
not saying a peep about it. I mean, the networks could have caught it during the game and said something about it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
nobody caught that, bro. And
Yep.
they held their tongues for a whole week, man, and busted that out. That's great work, man.
Yeah. The other thing that I was very impressed by with Hard Knocks is the fact that how many F bombs did you hear Mike McDaniel use? I've never heard him say that many F bombs. And then you saw the I believe it was the linebackers coach, bro. The
Oh yeah,
speech coach,
Campanelli. Oh
and he was talking about Lombardi and about how going to battle and getting your ass whooped or whooping ass or whatever. And he was saying all these F bombs, and I'm sitting there like, bro, I didn't know what this coaches had it in them. I thought they were all like friendly and trying to do the love and peace method. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
Hmm.
that's what I'm like. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When he coaches, he coaches. So it was exciting for me. I enjoyed it. Another
I
hot
also
take.
like the little. Do you catch the little tidbit with the referee?
Oh yeah, where he said,
Like,
"Hey man,
I'm
how you
really
doing?"
surprised that we haven't been talking more about that, man. Like, in
We need
general.
to. We need to talk about it. This is one other tidbit that usually I'd put it on a broken takes. I kind of wanted to talk about it last night on TMI, but I didn't really get a chance to. Somebody posed the question is, why do you think Ross is maybe considering selling the team now? Why would he do that? Since 2008, if you didn't know, he actually purchased the team in 2008 in a two-part buy. He paid $550 million for a partial stake in the team, and then fully bought the team for $1 million. So he basically put in about 1.5 million, let's say, right? Since then,
Or
each
billion. It would have been billion.
billion.
Right,
No.
right. Just making
1.5
sure we're
billion.
right. Okay.
1.5 billion. Yes. And then since then, each year, the value of the team has increased, right? In 2019, I want to say this team was only worth about $2.6 billion, right? 2.6. He bought the team about 1.5 billion. The team is worth 2.6 in 2019, right? Since 2019, each year, it seems like the value of the team has gone up to be over $1 billion each year. Right now, according to Statista, the approximate worth value of our team is about $5.7 billion, right? This is the highest it's ever been valued wise. And everybody knows basic business. You buy on the low, you sell on the high. Right now, this team is
Absolutely.
worth more than anything that's ever been. In addition, there's rumors that his daughter, who's supposed to be the second to inherit it all, doesn't really want to do anything with the team. Doesn't want to have any part of it, supposedly. So,
Well, the
what do you
other
do?
thing, Ollie, is what you're pointing out is dollar cost averaging. So what he's basically doing is he's saying, okay, well, the return on my investment now is so much larger than it was when I first bought the team that
Yeah.
I could let some of the ownership go,
Mhm.
still be making the same return on those shares. So in other words, he took a payment and is still making the same return with less shares than he had before.
Mhm. Yeah, 100%.
So why wouldn't he do that? And that's the other thing too. We keep talking about his interest in selling the team. We don't know that. He has only sold minority shares. He's not made any indication that he's relinquishing majority ownership of it,
Yeah,
or that he's shopping majority ownership.
no,
You know what I mean? Like,
but
people are
what they're
just
saying.
making that connection for some reason.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why they're making that connection is
It's no
because
different than cashing out a couple stocks, bro. That's all this is, man.
I hear you. But what I think is happening is it's setting up the eventual takeover that the new owner would have. And the reason for that
Well, yeah,
is,
the more shares you lose, the less leverage you end up having in the long
yeah,
run, sure.
but what I think is happening is this guy is on track to eventually become the full owner if he does buy the short stake, because he's worth so much. If you don't know, Ken Griffin,
Right.
who is the co-founder and runs Citadel, which is a big hedge fund company based here in Miami. They actually are. He's actually alone worth $35 billion. Most times when you try to buy an NFL team, they want your total worth collectively as an ownership group to be worth 3 times the amount you're buying it at. Right? So you can afford the cost over and everything. Well, he's worth more than 3 times over. He's worth,
Yeah, he's up to the Seattle owners level of money, sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So that being said, he could definitely buy the team, cash outright, and still have more than enough money to play with. You know what I mean? So why not sell it on a high right now? Why not? Wouldn't you? The team is, very successful, multiple successful seasons, on track to have a deep playoff run. We have the F1, you got the Grand Prix, you got so much money to go around, right? And let's just say, he does sell the team. That doesn't mean that Stephen Ross won't be around. Stephen Ross will definitely still be around. He still has money. He'll still have money invested in the team. He'll still be making money. But Color, I gotta go. It's time. My family is here. I gotta go. We
Right
gotta
on,
shut it down. I love all of you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Everybody, we really appreciate you. And you have a wonderful day. It was a pleasure. Happy holidays to everybody. We love